Good evening, and welcome to this week's London by Gaslight, a late Victorian age Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in 1892. Awakening for the night in the city of London this week is Eveline, the daughter of Cacophony, betrayed by Miss Hartz. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor state.
Oh, thank
Wonderful. God. Aldrich, of the clan of Shapers, betrayed by Bully from Tablegoth. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor slumber. Gain a hunger. Thurston of the Nosferatu, betrayed by Nitro Typat. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor state. Excellent. Last but never least, Inspector Grey from the clan of the Hunt, betrayed by Nosgavian of OnlyFans. Please do a rouse check to waken from your torpor slumber. Lovely. We begin this week with Inspector Grey, who will need a reminder to unmute his microphone. Inspector Grey is attending a meeting at the Setite cult he has recently had to join. Inspector Grey was careful to attend as early as possible. Despite his best efforts, he was not the first by a long shot. The meeting begins, and after giving praise to Set for their blessing of immortality and another seemingly rousing sermon, silence is called for. Two elegant, exotic women wearing golden lace ribbons, that is just barely enough to afford them some modesty, each holding two small boxes, stand in front of the crowd. The man in charge stands behind them and asks the chosen four to come forward. They form a queue in front of them, and each box is opened, revealing a small golden cat statue that can fit in the palm of a person's hand. Each man is given one and grasps it tightly in his palm, before being given a blessing and sent on their way, leaving the small chamber. The exotic women stand to the man's side as he steps forward, and once more addresses the remaining congregation. "We are being attacked, my fellow children. We know not from where the attack comes, and as children that are known to be outcasts, and those that live already on the outskirts, we shall do what we have always done. We shall prevail. For now, trusted members have been sent out to leave these idols as a means for helping to find those who would do us harm. To the rest of you, I bid you to be on your guard. The enemies are unknown and could be anywhere, everywhere. Be safe." The man bows and disappears through the doorway on the back wall, leaving the congregation to mostly leave, although a few still stay, and as Inspector Grey is about to leave, he catches sight of Roger Pierce, who approaches the inspector with a warm smile and hand extended to shake in greeting. "Ah, Grey! Such a pleasure to see you again. Did you know about this whole hoo-ha?"
Indeed, it is good to see you again, Mr. Pierce. No, this is quite a surprise to me. Who is attacking them? Do we know?
I don't think they have any clue either. Perhaps they are a little paranoid, thinking above their station. Mind you, we are both here, no?
Indeed. I've been out of touch as of late, but in our society, they could be facing opposition from nearly anyone. I'm sure someone might be upset about someone encroaching on someone else's territory or the other.
Well, considering that Mithras himself has, disallowed their kind here, I can't help but wonder if it is all just in their mind.
Oh yes, I'm sure if Mithras himself was moving, the waves would be quite noticeable. I don't think that would be something that would go unseen.
I do wonder, though, where they are placing their little trinkets. I wonder if they even do anything. Have you seen anything like this before?
They appeared to be some sort of just gold statuette. I know the Tremere have blood sorcery and magics to make wards and such, but I always thought they made that with, well, blood and vitae. I suppose it's possible these statuettes have been imbued with magic and vitae.
Who's to say what kind of strange and foreign practices and rituals these primitives hold, but still. Oh! My sire had high praise for you the other night. He was scant on details, but it seems you did something for his approval. It may well serve you in the future, with a powerful Ventrue in your corner. I say, what on earth happened to your hand?
I don't remember what happened last time.
You don't remember being called in front of Mithras, and...
That's right, and I lost my hand. Thank you. It's been a week.
It's been 2.
It's been 2. Oh, yes, it's but a flesh wound. I'm sure given time it will heal. It is certainly... Yes, I suppose, I was tasked with some task or another, and I may have taken some liberties on how to complete said task, and well, as they say, sometimes, when you step out of your station, you lose a hand.
It's a incredibly common phrase from where I am too, yes. Who on earth did that to you, though?
A friend of our coterie. Yes. It was, removed, but the hand was removed by a friend of the coterie.
Interesting. You keep strange friends if they remove your hands.
Well, he did apologize after removing my hand, and...
Oh, well that makes it all worthwhile and better then, doesn't it?
I did manage to guilt some knowledge out of it. So at least I got something.
At least you were able to get a hand for a hand.
Indeed, you can say I was given a hand in exchange for my hand, and, well, that knowledge I will keep forever, and my hand, I'll lift up my stump, will eventually grow back.
Indeed. Well, anyway, I hope you keep safe, sir. Enemies everywhere and all that. Good evening to you.
Indeed. Good evening. I'll give him a bow.
Pierce dips his head as a mark of respect to Inspector Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, or later, in the Whitechapel house. The coterie have been summoned by Endymion to the cellar of their house. The gathered kindred assemble around the painting that the coterie now realise depicts Lady Anne Bosley, and before Inspector Grey asks, "Yes, you are there."
I have summoned you here for a purpose.
The room's colours fade away and becomes filled with pitch blackness. The floor, walls and roof all fade to black. The coterie look to each other among the desolate spaces as the voice of Endymion resonates through the black room with stroboscopic red lights.
Are you prepared to give yourselves over to me? You must devote your very existence to me. Aldrich has already taken the first step, and knows that with devoted service comes great reward.
I suppose so. It's not like we really have much choice.
I mean, Endymion, we've known each other long enough that you should probably know I'm not a man of commitment.
Is it a yes or a no?
Non-committal.
But I guess if my coterie members are jumping off the proverbial bridge, I shall do as well.
I will scratch my chin with my non-hand for a moment. Well, I suppose, as the good lady Eveline has said, we don't have much of a choice in the matter, and surely rather than fighting against it and receiving no benefit, I would rather embrace it and seize as much benefit as I can.
If you are
I'd
willing
rather-
to give yourself to me, you will need to bring me a sacrifice worthy.
A worthy sacrifice, that shouldn't be too difficult. What would you like, some sort of priest, individual of
Gray.
faith?
You are to bring me an innocent.
An
Innocent.
innocent. That shouldn't be too difficult, I would think.
Thurston, bring me someone you have broken a promise to.
Can you be more specific?
No. Eveline, you are to bring me a woman you have sworn to protect. Bring your quarries to me. Sacrifice them in my name here, and your service will be rewarded.
I will run up the stairs and just collapse at the dining room table. Do that.
Well, I feel like I've got some remembering to do, but mine seems a lot easier than yours does.
Well, even in London, I feel like innocence shouldn't be too difficult to come by.
Alright, that's it then. You have no quarrels with what you have to do. It's just like that.
Oh, I mean, sacrificing food doesn't seem like that much of a... I don't have an issue with that. I mean, sure, I'm not eating the food myself, but if Endymion needs a meal, Endymion needs a meal. So be it.
It's what
Do-
humans are to you now. Food, strictly speaking.
Are they a kind not food? I mean, they can be used or manipulated. Sometimes they get in the way. But in a day-to-day, they matter little. Do you disagree?
I'm sure you've noticed I surround myself with people. I find them good company.
Yes, of course. And your men are quite loyal and stalwart, but I mean, they're still kind. They are yours, your property. You use them as you will, but you not find them to be. Surely they're not like us. Your men on an individual level would be more disposable than, say, yourself, of course.
Right, maybe that's the difference, as I have no quarrels using anyone, kind or kindred. So I don't see as much of a separation between them. While you seem to find our kind quite above them.
Well,
In theory, that makes sense, right? But I've not met too many kindred who are all that impressive either.
yes, I mean, in a certain light, kind and kindred are both disposable and usable, undoubtedly. I just feel like comparing tools, a kind is like a stone tool, whereas a kindred is a metal tool. It lasts long. It can perform better.
Here, Inspector, you care about class a lot more than I thought you did.
Ah, thank you, Lady Eveline.
So what are your thoughts then, Inspector? What screams innocent to you?
Well, the first thing I thought about is I could go snatch one of those troublesome urchins, but are urchins innocent? I don't know. They might show up on the Santa Claus's naughty list, and then maybe they wouldn't be so innocent after all.
I don't think they're going to show up on Santa Claus's list.
Oh, yes, we killed Santa Claus. That's true.
Well, and urchins don't have chimneys, so...
Some are chimney
Good.
sweeps.
True.
They fit quite well down a chimney.
So, following that, what does your mind go to next, Inspector?
Oh, well, I suppose, someone who has devoted their life to helping others, someone who does charitable work could be considered innocent. Someone who has not had the time or necessity to permit atrocities, or someone who hasn't had to deal with hardships, someone who's never killed another, someone who's never had to make any difficult decision.
And what about you, Thurston?
Well, there's many people that, well, not voluntarily, I've broke promises to through just inconvenience, hardship. I wonder how big of a promise he's expecting me to have broken to make it a worthy sacrifice.
Not sure. Are there any humans you've made promises to? What concerns me about your task is that you can only think of kindred, who you're in the business of promising things to.
Yes, indeed. There's not many humans I tend to work with for obvious reasons. I mean, I know that the odd person here and there will take my visage as just a disease of some sort, but you end up sticking your nose around too many things and people start getting suspicious. But yes, I do worry. I have thought exactly what you're bringing up, the fact that whoever I must bring may end up being someone I have to cover up for later.
Oh, my mind first went to Clara, but I mean, you saw what happened when you do something to the Nosferatu, as a young man found out.
Right. Exactly. And I find Clara much too useful.
The only other good friend I can think of for you is our friend Alistair.
It's true. I'm not quite sure where he is, though. And I don't know if I could pinpoint that.
Well, my resources are at your disposal, of course.
Have you lied to Alistair, Thurston?
Well, you don't necessarily have to lie to break a promise.
That is true.
And really, by sacrificing someone, that's sort of betraying their trust in the ultimate way. So even if you haven't done it before...
It's very true.
And what about you, Miss Eveline? Yours I find especially distasteful. I, too,
Right?
to protect the women of the city.
It's something I'll definitely need to do some thinking on. But I do wonder, do the women have to be biological women? There are some men who have certain persuasions.
Why would you target them specifically? And it doesn't have to be one you've sworn to protect. Who have you sworn to protect? I can only think of one.
Sworn to protect many.
Yours might be the easiest, because there's a certain woman who lives in this very house.
Oh, I hadn't thought about her. Can't give up my servant, though.
Oh, I don't think it's supposed to be easy.
Figures.
Well, all I had to do was give him an entire city, so...
Who needs
I had it
London?
easy. True. Right, just because I do not have a task, I still see it fitting to assist any of you best of my ability, so please do not shy away from asking for help.
A few moments later, one of Aldrich's heavy-handed bursts into the room. Boss, we got word from your opium east, your drug den. The scary woman there is something there, waiting to meet you in your room, apparently.
Well, I was just about to head that way. Thank you for delivering the message.
No problem, boss.
Feeling rather peckish.
As am I. Who do you think's the most innocent person in the city?
Oh, most innocent person in this city. Oh. How about Clean Hand Charlie?
What's that?
Well, that's pretty much the point. He don't do nothing.
Is he one of ours?
No. I mean, he's Clean Hand Charlie. He don't do fucking nothing. Gets up, goes to work. I even hear he brushes his teeth.
That truly is a pinnacle of innocence.
What does he do for work?
He drives horse meat round the city.
I don't know if that
That
seems
doesn't
like the
sound
most
very innocent.
innocent of jobs.
Well, I mean, he was probably looking for something else, but I think that was the final straw.
I see.
There you go. Something to consider, Inspector. We could check the horse meat delivery people for bastions of innocence. Perhaps we could...
They're only horses. It ain't murder. If you kill someone's horse, don't count.
Are there any charitable groups around London?
Well, there's many,
Any
but
what?
most aren't exactly innocent. That's something that rich people do to socialize. Right, but you know
True.
what? Maybe I bet there's someone who actually works in some of these charitable places who actually is good, right? Not the person throwing money at it, but the person actually
Yes.
in there helping the people.
Right, we don't want to go after the individuals getting rich off the charity groups, running the charity groups. We need to go to the soup kitchen workers, someone who actually cares about the people. That is
Right.
the individual we need to sacrifice.
If you want someone
Kidnap
that's
a nun.
innocent, where are you going to get a nun at this time of night? We've looked.
In a convent?
In London. But if you want to, be safe and innocent, why don't you get the soup workers' kids?
They would probably have difficulties fighting back.
Alright, there's no... I don't feel right about that. Alright, thank you for your help. And I don't like that you immediately went there either. We'll discuss that later.
Alright, boss.
Does anyone want to join me for a meal? Eveline, you said you were hungry.
Could use a bite.
I am quite famished myself.
I will accompany, but I do not need anything at this particular time.
It's alright, you know you're not allowed to be here by yourself. Alright, we'll all go.
The coterie head out into Aldrich's carriage and begin their journey across the city towards his opium den. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route? Would you like to arrive? Well,
Can arrive.
Aldrich's carriage comes to a halt outside the lavish opium den, and the coterie head inside, finding the unrecognizable flesh-crafted form of Inezka, her arm still in a bandage, but slowly reforming. She gives Aldrich a wry smile as she rolls her tongue across her pearly white teeth that contrast with her skin-tight black dress. I had a lot of fun writing that sentence, didn't I? Master! Such a pleasure to see you this cold winter's night. I take it you received my message concerning the creature that is awaiting to speak with you. It slurped and slurmed its way in at the start of the night and drooled out that it was sent to speak only to you. I thought it best to put it in your VIP room as it refused to talk to anyone else, and despite the temptation, I resisted turning it into a new wall feature for you. Is there anything else I may get you to make your stay more enjoyable?
Sounds uglier than Thurston.
I resemble that remark.
No, I think we'll take the usual. I'll have my meal first, then I'll call on our company.
Very well.
Didn't she say he's already in the room?
Oh, in that room? Very well.
I shall have them brought to you after you have spoken with that thing awaiting you. Oh, talking of things, what's going on with Inspector Gray? If you need him to meet an ironic end, I would be pleased to beat him to death with a piece of fried chicken.
He's standing right here.
He's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you.
Pardon, miss, but who are you? What is your name?
That's for you to never find out.
Don't worry about it, Inspector. She has a very interesting sense of humor.
Yes, I've never seen one of your people to be so disrespectful.
We've had to change things a bit after all recent financial struggles. Anyway, let's go meet with this person.
The coterie walk through Aldrich's opium den, weaving their way through the crowded tables and chairs and into the back room closed off to most people of London, and walk into Aldrich's personal VIP area. They open the door and find standing in the room a bloody-looking skeleton, long, intimidating sharp blade seemingly melded into its flesh, its leg joints reversed and feet moulded into cloven hooves. Its ribcage is exposed and seems like it's been fused into one piece. It turns and reveals that it bears remains of human faces, as if stuck on at the last moment. Various stitch lines across the face and jawline, which seem to mark where different faces have been attached together. One of its cloven hooves steps back, and the creature hisses towards the coterie. Lord Aldrich, blood of Shapers, I bid you good night on behalf of my personal master, Andre. cousin in blood of yours. He extends...
Go on.
He extends an invitation to meet with him this night. He says he has information you would find useful.
This is a walking masquerade breach.
I am quite curious. Where does one such as him find himself in the city? That last I checked was quite unwelcoming to him.
Master Andre is not bothered by such rude inconveniences, but he knows that a man of sophistication like you needs an invitation before visiting.
I do appreciate the formality. And I would be happy to accept his invitation.
The sounds of wood and metal breaking in the distance and heavy footsteps charging in towards the coterie alert them to some unknown intruder closing in. The heavy stomping comes closer and closer, and crashing into the room is a figure wrapped in heavy old bandages, clumsily lurching forward in a threatening manner towards the coterie. It bursts into the room through the carnage behind it, takes a glance, and looks upon the fleshcraft creature. It drops to pieces of sand that become whipped up in a wind. The coterie can't even feel. Enveloping the creature entirely as the sand is absorbed through various pieces of the body. The coterie know from their experience the creature is now under the full control of this intruder. And this is the
Bloody hell!
And this is the start.
Seems nowhere safe.
As is normal, you would go first. However, not in this instance. As the flesh-crafted creature steps forward and begins to take a swipe using its strange arm-like blades at Aldrich, how would you like to respond?
I'll fight back.
Let me just build up my pool. I can barely hold this many dice. Strength. Brawl.
No, I'm not gonna. So this is the thing that burst in, or the sand took over the flesh-crafted person?
Sand took over the flesh-crafty thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Vosged. According to this roll, not a very strong.
That means I will be rousing. Try to grab the thing.
Yep, that goes to you. Were you going to... Did you want to just punch it or grapple it, sorry?
I will start by grappling it.
Okay.
Let the others get at it.
You will be successfully restraining the creature. Who is next?
I'm busy trying to think of something clever to sing.
I suppose I'll go ahead and, if we're throwing down, I'll throw a dagger at it, a knife.
Dex Athletics, please.
Okay.
With a -1. Because you're a little stump.
Ah. Sounds good.
I thought you were going to say because of the sand.
And, I haven't eaten yet, right?
Correct.
I won't do anything else. Oh. Okay.
An interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah. Not a very high critical, but I guess it's technically a critical. I feel like this is going to be messy.
A messy critical. Aptly named.
If he beats me, do I get a messy critical and the beast, or just the beast?
Well, if it's a success, so you're not getting the beast.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's a throw roll. He doesn't get an opposing roll. You have a difficulty to roll against for throwing. He was successful.
Tracking.
I should storytell this game one day. Inspector Grey pulls out one of his knives. Unfortunately, through force of habit, he attempts to use his stump and accidentally fumbles, dropping it straight through his own foot. You'll take 2 superficial damage. However, you manage to finally pull out one of your knives and throw it towards the creature, managing to impale it, and you do significant amount of damage as it lets out a reel of pain. Next.
I would like to start singing Dust in the Wind. All we are. Sand, dust. Close enough.
Very nice. Eveline looses her vampirically empowered scream of death that impacts with the creature, cracking bones and letting plenty of blood drop to the floor. No one's at hunger 5, are they?
Not yet.
Okay. Thurston.
Yeah, Aldrich, just keep it still, and I'll try and stab it with my sword.
Strength. Melee.
Right. I always forget I need +1.
Even Thurston is unable to miss a target as large as this, especially when restrained by the strength of Aldrich, and manages to run his blade straight through the cracks in the exposed ribcage, slicing and finally pulling his blade out, dripping in thick viscera. The next moment they know. Anezka comes bursting in, holding a black cat, and throws it onto the floor. The fleshcraft turns to look at it, lets out an unearthly howl. The sands fall out of the construct, which falls lifelessly to the floor. Anezka stares at the pile of bloody flesh, turns to Aldrich and says, "Master Aldrich, something in those remains has caught my eye. May I take a look?"
You may. How did you know to do that?
After the previous attack from that strange creature, I decided to do some research.
Yes, please do take a look.
Nezka kneels down and slides her fingers across the floor, rubbing it between her thumb and finger, sniffing it, before standing and looking straight at Aldrich. This is mud from the riverbanks of the Thames, though I am unsure exactly where. I suggest searching South Bank or South Walk. They are the most likely places with easy access to the Thames. Try asking around nearby public houses. There's always someone in there willing to snitch for a quick bribe.
I'll bend down and start going, here, kitty, 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 kitty. Right,
Right, we might want to take that with us.
The cat just looks at Eveline, hisses, and runs out of the room.
Psst, psst.
Damn it.
I don't know. We've had terrible luck with cats.
We?
Well, collectively as a group, but I wasn't going to point anyone out. I look at the inspector.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
And what terrible luck with cats are you referring to, Thurston?
Well, I mean, we did. Aldrich here made that perfect specimen of a cat, and then a few moments later it was food.
Speaking of food, I am quite hungry. So hungry, in fact, I don't think I need to wait for a perfect specimen. Thurston?
Right, if you could...
Master, I was
Complete
able
all.
to secure your meals. They are quite safe if you would like me to bring them in.
No, I'm
Thank you
glad the
very
cat
much.
ran away.
And it was just the three of you feeding? Thurston was fine, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And very appropriate guests. One of which is dragged in because he's in a state of stupor and dumped on the floor. Who would like to feed first?
I will continue to sing Dust in the Wind, but make it very seductive. Which I think is possible with Dust in the Wind.
Eveline, do your feeding roll for me, please. Eveline sings her melody, mesmerizing her prey as she strokes its face, nuzzles into his neck. He doesn't even realize that she extends 4 of her fangs and sinks her teeth straight into the man's flesh, extracting exactly what she needs and wants from him, leaving him in a stupor. You may slake 2 hunger. Who is next?
Gray will go ahead and feed, and as he's feeding, he'll be staring Thurston down.
Do your feeding roll for me, please.
Sure.
Inspector Gray drags the body up, grabs it by the hair and pulls its head back, never breaking eye contact with Thurston, and a look of rage fills him as he bites deeply into his prey, extracting his needed vitae and blood from his victim, finally releasing it and throwing the prey down onto the floor with aggressive force, all the while maintaining the ferocious eye contact with Thurston. You may slake 2 hunger. Aldrich?
Yeah, that leaves me.
Oh, Aldrich. You could re-roll the 1.
No, let's just do it. It's gonna be that night.
Would you like success at cost?
Sure.
That way everyone gets what they want. Aldrich shakes his head at the display the vampires are giving to each other, extends his 4 fangs, and sinks them deep into the man's flesh. As he does so, casting his eyes across over his coterie members, the beast inside of him screams. While he is distracted by the beast's angry rantings in his skull, he loses concentration and drains his prey of every drop of blood. You take 2 humanity stains, but you may slake 5 hunger. And as you release the prey, Aldrich becomes obsessed with possessing something, desiring to add it to his proverbial horse. I need to increase the font of this. I'm sat here trying to go like that, and it's a physical piece of paper, and that's not how.
You're wearing your glasses even.
Yeah, that doesn't help because it's This is already close up and it's far away, I can't see. Who said that? Come closer, Eveline. Desiring to add it to his proverbial hoard. This can be anything from an object to a piece of property to an actual person. Any action not taken towards this purpose provides a 2 dice penalty. This compulsion persists until ownership is established, or the object of desire becomes unattainable. You are suffering from the Zamiti compulsion, covetousness.
Okay.
How would you like to proceed?
Is the Slotcha still there? Are they
It's turned into just basically a bloody pile onto the floor.
Oh, once they were possessed. We never got where we're supposed to go to Minandra.
No, but that's Aneska's provided the clues of where you start your search.
Pubs on South Shore?
South Bank,
South Bank.
and South Walk.
Got it. Oh, so that was
Chicago.
Okay,
Chicago
I
is
was
fine.
thinking that's something to do with the sand. That's what the actual rules made. Okay. Right, let's go to the South Bank.
Is there anything you wish to discuss on your carriage ride across the city?
So I just saw what you put. Right, we should keep cots with us. If these things are now finding us, instead of us intruding in their lair, I understand that. But if they're going to go in all places of business, we need to take care of this set-type problem post-haste.
Does this mean I can get a kitten?
Yes, I will provide the kitten.
I was going to say, as long as it's not from Endymion this time.
Yes, perhaps we can all have a satchel with a cat in it, just in case.
Not a bad
We
idea.
have to keep the cat alive.
Hmm.
Could be one of those
Really?
like little wrapping things with a little cot in the front. So that way when the sand creatures come, they'll see right away that we're protected.
Yes. Yes, we can have some sort of bandolier that would carry a cat, and maybe we could keep discs of food with us to feed the cat. Presumably the cat won't need to leave the bandolier so long as the entity can see it.
You've never
Really?
owned a cat, have you?
No, I have not.
I don't think we should let him have a cat.
Everyone gets a cat. Just make sure his is especially hearty. Also, Evelyn, aren't you friends with these people? Aren't you in like the club now? Oh, I guess it's a different faction. Is that what we've learned?
Yeah, I don't think they really talk to each other.
Do you still have those cat ears?
Yeah, they're in here, and I pull them out from somewhere behind the seat and put them on.
Right, if we can all fashion something like that and walk around the city in them, I believe we may be able to go unharmed.
I'm permanently now wearing the cat ears.
This is Shiver's established lore, just interacting with... Right,
Feel
as
like
soon as we
I'm
get
in
back to the
Akihabara.
house, I will find cats and cat ears for all of us. But
Make
don't
everyone
want to
cat
keep
ears.
Andre waiting. So, yeah, we'll continue discussing our cat safety precautions on our way.
Andrik, if you wish, South Wark was actually the closer of the two locations.
It's not aware. It's fine with me. I just picked the one that I remembered.
Every Nosferatu keeps a trusty map in their pocket.
That's very
Yes, but
good,
can you read it?
Thurston.
And we all know how Thurston's map reading skills are.
I
House
highlighted
Nosferatu coming through again.
I highlighted it with crayons. It's easier for me to read that way.
Is constantly updating the URI here as we go.
I specifically
wait!
hold the crayon.
Erase.
Like, I full on like hold the crayon in my fist, like you just showed, as well.
With Thurston's directions, the coterie end up in Glasgow.
Well, no, hold on a minute. Oh, I was holding it upside down. That makes sense.
We should have taken a ride at Albuquerque.
The coterie arrive in Southwark. They proceed. Oh yeah, is there anything you wish to discuss in the carriage? Like a plan, or do you want to just me to push you on?
Push on.
The coterie proceed to enter inside of a packed pub in Southwark. The few seats there are filled as people are packed into the noisy building. The smell of vomit, both fresh and dried, tobacco and cheap watered-down beer dances in the air like a thin mist. Even the undead members of the coterie feel they must fight the urge to throw up. How would you like to proceed?
I'll put my handkerchief up to my nose.
What do we remember about Andre? We've met him before, right? He was
A few times.
Oh wait, did we did?
with the whole flesh house thing. That was him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if you cast your minds way back, the first time you met him, he unleashed 2 Vojts on you underneath the construction of Tower Bridge.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we have a rough
Oh.
description of him to work off of as far as asking
That
around
dude.
about him.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
he was
pretty
the one that gave me
distinct,
the
yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that gave me the ring with the eye on it.
Anyone
Yeah.
who's played Bloodlines
He remembers
will
my name or
recognise
something too.
Yeah.
Oh, does he look like?
Realize that was Andre?
him. That is the same character. Bloodlines Andre is this Andre.
Does he look the same? Was it like before
Yeah.
he got that look?
You know, he's on his way to looking like that.
Gotcha. Some. He'll stand out.
I doubt he would have really shown himself to anyone, right? But we can ask around about a sudden, shady, most likely wealthy patron, or people disappearing, or something of the matter. Where was he from? He was foreign as well.
We could also look for cats. Or a lack thereof.
I think the cats counter the sand things, sand raiders, but I
Oh,
don't.
yeah. My mistake.
Before I go spending my money, which I used to have quite a lot of, and now I have uncomfortably less, we'll see what the animals can dig up.
Oh, you
Well-
poor thing.
Never call me that. I will use some feral whispers to see if I can't track and question, because I get a layout for specifically, I guess, at rats. Rats are everywhere. I want to see if I could get some rats, see if there's been any weird creatures roaming around and where they linger. Anything flesh crafted sounding.
Do the roll for me, please.
Do you want me to roll to summon them or to ask them? I don't know how readily available they are. If I could just find them and ask. Or if I
Summoning
need to-
is not a problem,
okay.
even in the
It's
pub.
rats
yeah.
in Victorian London.
So that
They're
will be
gross and they get
manipulation, which I'm better. So I'll take it.
Jesus.
Rats love me.
The rats will... It's a sentence I never thought I'd be saying this morning. The rats will provide you with information that Some strange creature was lurking through shadows, attempting to not be seen, the origin of which they were unsure about. But it was definitely from around the south of the city, so either South Walk or South Bank.
Yeah, isn't that where we are?
Yes, you're in South Walk at the moment.
Okay.
But they're unable to provide you an exact origin point of the creature, just that it has been
A jumping off
seen.
point to look, so we just know we're in the right
Because
area.
Thurston hasn't taught them how to read maps.
In fact, I'll tell you what. Do intelligence and investigation or wits and streetwise for me, please.
Can I assist him with my colorful map?
Yes, actually, yes. Have a plus. Do the roll with is that with the +1?
Yes.
Why is it subterfuge?
You said... Oh, no.
Oh, it's supposed to be... Well, my streetwise and subterfuge is the same, but I meant to click
Oh.
streetwise.
Then that's
But
fine.
it is the same dice.
I think with that amount of information and your uncanny ability in knowing the city, you'll be able to work out that the creature probably was walking along the actual bank of the Thames somewhere, as rats don't tend to go that near to the water.
Also had mud. That's how she knew where he was, so that would make
Right.
sense.
So I suppose we are to walk the actual riverbank itself. See if we can't find where the Andre may be hiding out.
Let me change into my boots first.
One of the staff will approach you. Well, we ain't got no tables. You want a drink? What do you want?
Sorry, wrong pub.
I will take a drink, actually. Have you seen
Stay.
We're looking for a friend, someone else who might seem a bit out of place around here.
A place? In London?
Hmm.
No.
We're tracking down a creature that may have escaped. Something dangerous, experimental. Might be harassing some of the locals, and we're here to take care of it.
Oh, you might want to talk to Nosy Nielsen.
Could you point us to Nosy Nielsen?
See that crowd of people over there? Wait, sorry.
Yes.
Over there. Wrong corner. He's over there.
Which one is he?
He's the one that everyone's listening to.
Well, thank you. Let's go have a listen then.
Nosy Nielsen is surrounded by other men, all wearing dirty, stained clothing. Most of them are laughing as Nielsen talks to the group, apparently recounting the time he saw someone from the West End, lost and asking a local prostitute for directions, as she overwhelmed him offering various services she performs, much to her own and everyone else's amusement. Would you like to just listen in on this story, or would you like to approach him?
If this story doesn't seem relevant to our interest, yeah, we'll approach.
And he'll put his drink down, he'll look up at you. All right, Gov. Strange place to be seeing someone like you here. Sup? Sup?
Strange vernacular you have. I've been told that you're the one who knows what's what around here. You might be able to point us in the direction of someone we're looking for, or perhaps something. There's a foreigner about, a very odd, reclusive fellow. And also he might be connected with reports of Maybe strange disfigurements, creatures even.
Well, like that one that's with you?
Worse.
Jesus.
That one can read a map.
Don't believe you.
Yeah, I'm not that good at lying.
Well, like anywhere in particular you want me to think of?
Depending on how particular your information is, I pay a high price for particularity.
Well, if they're right deformed, then it might be getting chucked in the Thames. I've heard lately that some of the best way to get rid of incriminating evidence is chucking it in the Thames. Bit of a fashion at the moment. A lot of people chucking shit in the Thames. A lot of people have been going missing while on a walk around the riverbanks, mostly on the south bank, just down the road. What is it? Might be connected to that new club I heard about.
What club?
It's another one of them religious fruity ones, you know, claiming they've got all the answers, bringing back some old religion, Mothra, Mythos, something like that. But I don't watch the river
could be
myself.
connected.
You might want to talk to someone in South Bank.
Very well. Right, thank you for your help.
Well, there you go. Any gossip, you come to me.
Thurston, you're quite a gossip. Could have a friend here.
Yes, quite.
Alright, to South Bank then.
As you step away, you just hear Nosy Nielsen saying, "So they call her Old Yellow Pages, because every time at parties..."
Yellow Pages didn't exist yet.
Maybe this is the origin story.
I mean,
You didn't
phones
let him finish the
existed.
story.
Maybe
But-
she
but-
had a book with yellow pages.
Yeah, the yellow page is what? 2 pages long at this point?
It's easy to get a wrong number. Hello, is this 5? No, this is 7.
Sorry, wrong digit.
Heading to South Bank?
Yes,
Coterie.
These religious organizations, they're always so shady.
Well, it's not like
do know-
Mithras isn't.
Yeah, I was.
I
gonna
hold
say
up my
you do
porcelain
know-
hand.
Mhm.
Oh, it's quite a lovely porcelain hand you have. Mine hasn't grown
Eveline!
back either. I'll
Willpower
hold up
check
my
for me,
stuff.
please.
Oh, is the porcelain hand going to make another obscene gesture?
4 successes it is. As Inspector Grey says, it is a lovely hand. You'll feel it clench and flipping off Inspector Grey.
Oh, well, I don't think that was needed, Eveline, but very well. If I've offended you, I'm sorry.
You were just
I-
not getting a lot of respect today, Inspector.
It's got a
Apparently,
mind. Cursed hand.
right. I'm sure, Eveline. You didn't do it, your hand did.
It's porcelain! Ding, ding, ding.
Dink, dink, dink.
Let us proceed then.
Coterie. Oh, I've used the wrong symbol. Oh, well, the coterie make their way through the falling torrent. No. Coterie walk into a busy pub. The staff seem desperate to try and give a false impression of affluence and sophistication, considering the clientele seem to be from the lower walks of the social strata. dock workers, factory workers, even street peddlers rub shoulders with staff dressed in a vain attempt to look more well off than they actually are, as they weave their way through the maze of drinking, smoking, and seemingly sleeping patrons. The barman greets them as they walk up to the bar. Ah! Finally! Someone else of my standard here. How may I help you?
Glass of your most expensive wine, please. He's paying.
Coming right up. It's expensive. Just give it the normal stuff and charge you more. And he'll probably-
Have you heard anything? Oh, I think we've kind of got what we needed. Actually, I've heard there's a new club. Something to do with Mithras. Any information about it? Have you been yourself?
No, I'm just regular Church of England goer. For the Queen and all that.
Right.
But I mean, if you want to know things, Lippy Lou.
Every pub have one of those guys?
Yo, what kind of pub doesn't have
Usually,
someone
yeah.
like that in it?
I'll let someone else take this one. I'm all alliteration named out.
Lamb Flag over the road has got someone called Gossipy George.
Evelyn,
Then-
you do the honors.
Then there's the Crown and Flag, which has got someone named Diarrhea Dave. Do not want to speak to him.
Is it because
Ew.
it doesn't? No, I don't want to know. Never mind.
How, if I may, did he get such a name?
I don't want to know. And I start walking towards, what was it? Loopy Loo? What's his name?
Lippy Lou.
Yeah.
Lippy Lou.
Lippy. Yeah, I uncharacteristically follow Eveline.
And
Oh.
you'll find this... Sorry.
I was just say, pardon me. I'm going to proceed with the rest of my party, see what they have to discuss, and then I take my leave as well. I follow Evelyn.
And it turns out he couldn't get enough loo roll in the time. And
Always
Kosher.
talk like this in pubs?
Have you seen the decor?
there was this one time, I'm going to completely derail everything just for a quick one, because there was this one time I came back from college and I had a beer and I could just hear these two women, not young women, not old women, just sat there in the middle of the afternoon discussing their favourite sex toys.
And?
It just seemed like a very public place to do it.
Did you take notes?
No, but I didn't get any numbers either. You
Well, I
proceed
mean, you have a
over.
lot to compete with.
Always do. You proceed over to the rather elderly man, sat nursing his drink. He doesn't even turn his head to look at you. What is it? Not paying
This
me
is
tab
Lippy
yet.
Lou?
I ain't finished. Yes, Slippy Lou.
Okay. We're a little lost and we're looking for somewhere. I was hoping you could help.
Oh, I can help you. Take a seat.
No, thank you, sir.
Trollop.
Because I didn't sit? Anyway. We're looking for a new club? Myth something?
Oh, you're one
I
of
hear
them
it's all the
nutters, are
rage.
you? Oh, God. Then the usual spiel, all the answers, see the light, all this stuff. I don't know much about it. They seem fairly new, but they say they ain't.
Aren't you curious?
Why would I be curious? I know all the answers to all of life's questions are at the bottom of this mug. And if they ain't at the bottom of this mug, they might be at the bottom of the next one.
Well, in that case, who's committing Amaranth?
Who's Anne?
Never mind.
If that's how we solve this whole thing,
That'd be great.
it would be amazing.
He drinks his cup, and in the bottom of it, it says a name.
Oh, I'm tempted now.
Story's over.
Lou, have you heard any stories about weird goings-on, things that are unexplainable that might be lurking through the city?
Yeah. I mean, I watch the river a lot in the day because the pubs ain't open and I've got fuck all else to do. I just mind my business. And, you know, a lot of people have been dumping suspiciously large wrapped up bundles into that river through the day. Went until no one's looking, chucking them in. And I saw something really weird tonight, like really fucked up weird. Just before I came here, a merman, mean looking hell demon, walk out of the water. Long knives for arms, looked like the devil itself. Of course everyone said I was imagining it or just drunk. I know better.
No such thing.
I know.
Doesn't quite sound the same as everything else we've been hearing, but it's good to know your side of the story. I do think that, I mean, where do you think they get the water to make this stuff? And I point at his glass.
Probably the gutters.
No.
Would explain why British lager tastes like piss.
It's true.
This is cleaner.
This merman fellow, did it have, like, fins? Or a tail? Was it able
What?
to walk?
It walked out of the water. It
I
looked
see.
mean as hell, and thankfully it was getting pretty dark, and that was enough. Well, if that wasn't enough, the fucking blades on its arms were.
Where exactly did you have this vision?
Oh, it was just down the road, right on the bank. You know, right where you can walk up to the riverbank itself. Real muddy, real muddy. Walk through it, no problem.
Would you say it looked more frog-like or fish-like?
It kind of looked like a perfect mix between the two. Yet, I'm sure with enough sensitivity, caring and time around it, some woman would fall in love with it and then they'll make a lovely film about it.
Evelyn, what are your thoughts?
We should go look at this spot that he saw this supposed merman. And perhaps visit that club.
Well, Lou, do take care of yourself, though. And remember, whatever you saw, it might be because you're looking for things at the bottom of that mug.
All the solutions and causes are at the bottom of this mug.
Including mermen.
Don't you
Here,
take
you can
that
have
tone
this
with
one
me.
too, and I give him my glass of wine.
Oh. Eau de urine.
It's their most expensive.
I think I
I'm not
passed this
paying.
out last week. Should wine have a frothy head?
All right, we'll be
You're
off.
gonna drink it anyway.
Coterie head out of the surreal pub onto the streets of London, finding it beginning to snow quite heavily already. Is there anything you wish to talk about as you walk over to the Thames River bank?
I'm wearing my galoshes, by the way.
Straightforward then. Things operating from somewhere either in the river or an alcove or somewhere along the river. It's got some sort of creation in the water. Seems to be collecting, we'll say, spare parts for him.
Yeah, he said something about they were throwing things wrapped up in bandages into the river.
Bodies,
Yes.
most likely. We are invited guests, so ideally we will not be harassed by such a thing. But if we are, sounds quite formidable, so do be careful.
Well, I mean, they did send a messenger to us that turned into something, turned into a weapon or an enemy of some kind. So, even though we are welcome with open arms, I can't imagine those arms aren't wielding something.
Very good philosophy. Alright. Either way, be prepared to get muddy.
That's why I wore my wellies.
Yeah, those have actually come into handy much more than I thought they would. The river then?
I would be quite fine with proceeding to the river. Perhaps we can find some footprints or something unseen in the mud.
You keep your eyes peeled then. Alright, we'll head that way.
The coterie make their way through the falling torrent of snow towards the riverbank. It slowly settles on the cobbled streets, but as they approach the riverbank, leaving the cobbled and paved stones behind them, they enter onto the muddy banks of the Thames. The ground is too wet for the snow to settle here, and a few tracks are still visible left from others who walked before them.
Can we see any tracks coming out of the river?
Wits and awareness or intelligence investigation, please.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, that's fine. You will see cloven hooves. Unlike horses' cloven hooves, these seem to only walk in pairs, like two hind legs. They come out of the water and walk towards the city.
Now, if I'm remembering right what my boots do, I would like to walk up to the edge of the water and take a step into it.
So, yep. And you will see trail of cloven hooves.
Trying to part the river?
Kinda, yeah.
This with your boots?
I mean, I'm not going to go that far, but yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit.
Can I look at the look in the mud and the hooves with Sense the Unseen and see if I see anything?
Why are you making that face? You knew he would. You knew he would.
Yes, he would like to use Sense the Unseen on the mud.
Yeah. Focusing where I see the cloven hoof.
Please roll, sense the unseen.
Oh, I...
Fine. And you see nothing supernatural in the mud.
I can confirm that they are indeed cloven hoof footprints going through the mud. They do not seem to be the supernatural in origin or magical. Perhaps this is a mundane creature. Well, at least
Footprints.
one.
What about in the water? And I take another step into the water.
Yeah, your boots will still be just enough to part it, and you'll still see these cloven hooves leading further into the river.
So they go into the river, not out of the river?
They're leading from the river. So it's as if this guy
right.
has walked
So,
out of the river.
do we think he has a lair in the river itself, which I suppose is possible since we don't have to breathe? They're quite disgusting. Or should we see where these hooves go to and hope he has set himself up somewhere proper?
Yeah, the only reason I'm stepping into it is because the water's not going to touch me.
I suppose we should see where it goes to first. Also, I'm not sure sure the hooves disappear after a little bit after it gets deeper.
We could always send Thurston into the water, see how far he can follow the footprints.
Fish.
Let's do that after. I don't want to be walking around with a wetter Thurston the rest of the night if we don't have to.
Very well. That's smart thinking.
Spectre, seems to be your cup of tea if you don't mind leading the way following the trail.
Yes, very well. I will follow the cloven hoofen.
Wits investigation or wits and streetwise, whichever you prefer.
I will do wits and investigation.
Wonderful. Inspector Grey leads the coterie through various dark alleyways that are strewn across the city. It doesn't take them too long until they realize they are merely heading back in a direction from where they came, and the trail leads directly to Aldrich's opium den.
Well, that makes sense.
I guess it's into the river then. Or we can walk along the bank and see what we can find.
I think we should follow the footprints backwards to where hence they came. Into the river we go.
I'm not going any further in the river than I have.
Perhaps some of us can walk along the bank and someone can go into the river and direct us from there.
Why is everyone looking at me?
You'd like me to hold your clothes?
That's not the question I thought Evelyn would ask me. But, actually, that's kind of you, yes.
I look away. I'm holding my arms out like this, but I'm not watching.
How slowly is Thurston disrobing? Just out of curiosity.
Figure out those, like,
For anyone.
what are those old timey like striped one piece bathing suits?
Yeah.
just underneath.
He
his
just has it
normal
ready.
clothes.
He just wears it. Yeah.
My
Never
super
know.
floofy clothes and underneath a striped bathing suit.
I mean, when you live in the sewer,
Those are my favorite bathing suits. I wish those were still a thing.
You're hipster enough. Anything's
shame.
still a thing.
I was really hoping that someone was going to say the line, "Where does a foreskin start and where does it end?"
Only you
You're
would say that
Hoping
line.
we would, anyone but you would say that, yeah.
Saying what
And
everyone else
Evelyn's
is
not
thinking.
looking.
Right, so into the river, just pop up every now and then, let us know if we're heading the right direction. We'll follow your signals from the bank.
Right, and if you see any bubbles, that means to jump in after me something went wrong.
Absolutely.
Where are the bubbles gonna... Never mind. Never mind.
Well, like Aldrich said, we don't need to breathe. And like you said, it's disgusting. I don't want to let anything in. So I'm going to take a deep breath and then hold my nose. And, well, I don't have to hold my breath.
Why,
But
why are
if
you
I'm in
taking your
trouble,
breath?
Because if I'm in trouble, I'll exhale it and then bubbles will come up.
Not a bad
Please.
plan.
Exhale.
And at this point, we'll take a break while we explain how buoyancy works to Thurston. There, and they won't see it for 30, 40 years.
There's still Victorian shopping carts in there.
Did the rest of the coterie like go along the river?
We're on the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're standing on the
I-
bank.
I guess I would. I guess swim up to breach the surface.
Okay.
Okay. I was expecting a roll for that for some reason. There's a really, well, I wouldn't say really, but there's an iron door down here.
I'd like to remind you, you are across the other side of the Thames, in the middle of London.
Oh. I'll wade over to the other side where they're at. Get
Doggy
back up.
paddle.
Yeah, doggy paddle. Shake some of the rocks out of my shoes.
Wearing shoes?
I am now, apparently. There's a large iron door down near the bottom. I don't know how we expect to get everyone down there, but that is where the hooven footprints lead to, or lead away from, I should say.
Did you open it?
It's a door underwater. I didn't expect it to be the easiest thing to open.
You didn't even try?
Right. I mean, either way, we're about that time that we all have to get wet.
No.
I suppose we can all disrobe and leave our clothing in the carriage.
No.
Good Lady
I'll
Evelyn.
sit here and watch out.
I was just going to suggest that you can stay in the carriage and watch our belongings.
Just imagine, Lady Evelyn, are you afraid of a little bit of water? And I flick some of the loose water off my hand at her.
I try to kick at it.
Very well. Evelyn, I will escort you back to the carriage. We will report back as soon as possible.
I could also sit at the banks and watch out.
This is quite disgusting as well. And if something were to come from the water, you'd be in quite a vulnerable position.
You don't think I could handle it?
I just feel better if you're with Durston and my heavy-handed back of the carriage. Please, I'll
Okay.
offer a hand.
I'll go with him back to the carriage.
When she takes my hand, I want to throw her in the water.
Brilliant.
I want to do a thing. You know, it sounds like standing up and you reach out and there's that like momentum, or like when they lift you up. I want to do that, but just like keep that momentum and just fling her in.
So what happens to my boots?
That's what I'm gonna
Is there
find
like
out.
a ball of what?
That's gonna be my
It's all for
excuse. Is I
science.
thought
All
the
for
boots
science.
would protect you.
Okay. That's going to be absolutely a free action. However,
I don't think I could resist against it anyway, so.
Eveline, do a frenzy check for me, please. Difficulty 3.
Oh no!
Sure.
Absolutely.
Fair.
Oh.
Oh, thank God.
The beast inside of you screams up at being put out and thrown against your will into the water. However, you are able to suppress it and remain in complete control of yourself as you sink to the bottom. I notice that your Wellington boots have what appears to be an air pocket around them, keeping them perfectly dry. What's everyone else doing?
Right, well, she's already in. I'm hoping she'll be able to forgive me. I really thought the boots would do something.
Well, it's a shame her clothes have gotten wet, and is the carriage nearby?
Ish, yeah. Walking
Road.
distance.
It's
I-
gonna make her more mad, right? If we all show up in proper attire and she got her clothes wet, we've all got to just suck it up now, Inspector. I'm sorry. I'll start
Okay.
wading in the
I'm not
water
gonna
as
make
well.
any friends.
I would like to. I'm going to use unseen pass. I'm going to strip down and put my clothes in the carriage, and I'm going to use unseen passage.
Okay, do a rouse check for me, please.
Sure.
Gain a hunger.
Gained. I wonder how that's going to look. This just invisible water going around it. So I will catch up to the group invisibly.
Well, so far I'm the only part of the group in the water.
Thurston's in.
Yeah, I
You're
probably
out.
would have like done
Oh.
an elegant dive back into the water of some kind.
And as everyone walking along the riverbed to the door and finding the strange, fairly large iron door
Very begrudgingly.
with a spoked wheel upon it, having met up with Eveline, who was standing in the middle of the river, hands on hips.
I'll point to the boots and shrug. Now we'll proceed to the door.
What would you like to do to the door?
Open it.
Yes.
How? What is your approach?
You said it has a... What was the mechanism you said was on it?
It has a strange spoked wheel attached to it.
Yeah, turn
Here,
the
turn
wheel.
the wheel.
Dex and strength for me, please.
Wait. Weird. Is this the same door? It's just underwater now that the construction's gone?
No, this is a different door.
Okay.
I'll
That's
reroll.
enough. That's fine.
Well, I hope it is enough.
Waste of
The
a
door.
reroll.
Sorry, have willpower back. The door slowly slides down, with the pull of the wheel revealing a small metal room with another door ahead of it. The coterie proceed inside, and as the last one in sets their foot upon the metal plate, they feel the floor slightly sink into the floor. As the door slowly rises up and water begins to escape from the chamber, in sync with the door closing. Eventually,
As soon as the water level is low enough, I smack Aldrich across the face.
doing it with force or just for shock?
With force.
Strength. Brawl. Aldrich, how would you like to respond?
It doesn't matter, I know it's...
I'll take it.
Take 1 superficial damage as Eveline slaps you across the face.
Right, deserve that. I swore
Owe
the
me a new
boots
dress.
would have parted the river or some sort. I thought you'd be a direct path in. I thought you just didn't believe in yourself, and I believed in you. And
Poppycock.
I'm sorry.
You owe me a new dress.
In time, when my finances get sorted, you will have a new dress. You'll have a new dress immediately.
And a kid.
Gray
You
would quietly laugh. Very
Instantly.
quietly to himself.
Everyone who has ever been or is in a relationship knew exactly that look that Eveline did.
I feel like I'm just off in the corner shaking the water off of myself.
Eventually, the water subsides and the other door on the other side of the room opens up, revealing a long, damp corridor ahead that leads into an open area, from where the coterie can already see various, almost medical-like beds ahead of them. Would you like to proceed ahead?
Before I do, I'm wearing Victorian garb. This is a lot of skirts that are now wet. So I am going to take some layers off.
Tell me more.
I will strip down to a
Yeah.
corset, underskirt, and petticoat.
Really paint the scene for me. What does this look like?
I'm still fully covered. It's a corset, underskirt, and
You have me a
undershirt and
corset.
petticoat. Victorian corset. Probably like a white or light color that has now been stained by the Thames.
That's fair. That's fair. And is this the corset up to shoulder length or under the bust?
It would be
I mean,
overbust.
I know that's a bodice.
Overbust would be the fashion at the time.
That suplex thing Aldrich did to Evelyn into the river, how do I do that to the storyteller?
Yeah, really?
Right?
Is there anything you would like to discuss before you proceed ahead?
Remember, ideally, we are still guests. Let's try to, if we come upon anything unseemly, keep that in mind.
I'm dressed unseemly. Look at my hair!
Yeah, whatever would make you think we would find something unseemly down here, says the Nosferatu in a swimming getup.
Right, let's get this over with.
Coterie make their way through the corridor. Small puddles of water form from the Thames that have formed near the door, get shallower as they approach the only room ahead of them. Finally making
I'll
it
keep my
inside.
wellies on.
That'll make a difference. The coterie are
Petticoat and
reminded
wellies.
That's my fetish. The coterie are reminded of Aldrich's so-called laboratory, but far more sophisticated. Fewer tools are laid out, but they seem to be just as blood-soaked as Aldrich's, and almost alien in their nature. As the coterie are stood in an almost frightened awe of the twisted medical room, a strange, almost forgotten voice ekes out of the shadows. Good evening, Lord Aldrich and Cainites. This is more like the Count from Sesame Street than the accent I wanted. One fuck up on the accent.
Aldrich will bow respectfully. Right. Mr. Andre.
Sight of
uh,
Andre. Oh, sorry.
Told you would like to meet. Unfortunately, right, your messenger met a untimely end thanks to some set heights. But we've tracked you down to this place regardless, and I hope you have something quite interesting to say, because we've been through a bit to get here.
Sight of
There'd still be
Andre
a cheek, tan mark on his cheek.
in his long, that's also a fetish, in his long, black, red and gold laced robes, almost beguile them, but they never lose sight of the grotesquely beautiful, sharply frilled shape of his grey-skinned head, with bone-like mandibles ripping through his jawline. I'm glad I'm not doing the accent, it's just going to sound like the Count of Sesame Street at this point. I'm glad that you have made your way here. I have very useful information for you. But first, cousin, I wanted to ask, what are your recent endeavours? What news have you? How have you progressed?
In our craft, I take it?
In your craft? In general?
My craft, I've found I've quite the knack for what we do, though I see myself more as a man of industry, of practicality, of improvement, not the decorative sense that you and some of the others of our plan seem to be. But I see the use of what we do. Made improvements to all my subordinates and others. A quick glance at Gray as I say that. As well as I've found I've been pushed against the wall more often than not lately. I found a version of me more suiting for such situations.
Wonderful progress. And you find beauty in functionality, as well as the aesthetic.
I suppose beauty could be a word for it. Find beauty in effectiveness.
And how goes your quest for the Camarilla? Do they still have you chasing your tail and their own?
Right, we've not quite been able to climb that ladder to where I would like to be. Set high business is on their behalf, and well, we've met the prince himself quite recently, Mithras. That also didn't go so well, though he knows what I am now.
They treat you like a domesticated lapdog. You fear to even reveal your true nature to the Camarilla. Do you think they will care when those that created us arise from their ancient torpor to claim us all back as their property?
Don't answer that. All I know is I am being patient. I'm playing the game. And if I think of where I am now from where I was the first time we've met, I've come quite far. Though again, nothing that's satisfied my ambition yet.
It should always be at the forefront of your mind. It is epitome of survival, and the only way to prevent it is to become an agent of Cain himself. The true sword of Cain, the Sabbat, actively fight against the coming Gehenna. The Camarilla cower in their ivory tower, thinking they can hide away from the end of the world in the shadows. But
we have recently learned more of this Sabbat, yes. I wasn't impressed.
there are many facets to the Sabbat. But enough of such talk. Know that you will always have a place within the Sabbat should you choose it. I have requested this meeting with you tonight to discuss your current business. I believe you will find something of interest to you in Portman Square. Many answers await you there. The only thing that will remain will be what you do with what you learn. And Andre hands Aldrich a small piece of paper with an address written upon it in Portman Square.
How are you going to get that up to the surface?
You'll find that pencil doesn't wash away.
I've got pockets. I'll just sort of open up my chest a little bit and dig it.
Oh.
Put the paper where the bugs are. Close it back up. I'm unsure what exactly you hope to gain from this, or why you're assisting us, but not in a position to look a gift horse, as they say. So, instead of meeting you with my usual suspicion, I will instead thank you.
You are most welcome, cousin. While you are here, is there anything that I may assist you with?
Will you be here for a while? You seem intent on making London your home, despite the obstacles.
The bat will be wherever the Sabbat is, and I choose for the Sabbat to be here for now.
Our most pressing issue seems to revolve around the Setites. You spoke of people rising from torpor, causing problems or whatnot. I believe the Setites are on about something similar. You know anything about the Nephra Khan?
Nephron Ka. Not
That's it.
specifically. However, it sounds like the name of one of the resurrected. The term Ka refers to magic of the soul.
If one of these is coming, as they say, what will that mean for us?
It means it will hunt you down relentlessly until you die. You may be able to kill it in the interim, but the resurrected always come back. If it is
I don't know.
targeting you specifically, then perhaps it is under instruction from some outside party.
Most certainly is. Though our last run-in with that party did not end so well.
And if they have the resurrected guarding them, you may need to employ a quick wit and understand how it is able to guide one of the resurrected and have it under its control so easily.
Well, you've given us even more to think about, and we can make some use of that. Well, I hope the city finds you well, and your endeavors, whatever they may be, are successful. Of course, if you require my assistance, well, you know where to find me. I've already sent one messenger.
And you, cousin, likewise. To your subordinates, don't go blabbing to the Camarilla about my location. It is only you four that know my location, and I will know exactly who has told them where I am.
I'm kind of just in the back, kind of smacking the side of my head, trying to get the water out of my ears. I'm sorry, what? Oh, right, I wouldn't think of it.
Thurston's very good with his secrets.
My clan is independent. I'm not Camarilla, though it can be convenient to align myself with them at times. And additionally, as an Assamite, my hatred towards the Tremere is a common ground I think we can have between us.
And he'll glide forward to Eveline, running a clawed hand over her cheek. And you, Miss Eveline?
This is disgusting. I would never, not even send my worst enemy down here. I never want to see the Thames again.
Would you like me to fuse her lips together permanently?
He takes a second too long to respond before he finally says, no. She has quite a gift, that voice of hers, and it would be a tragedy for all if it were to be silenced.
If you say so. Such conventional looks. She could be so much more.
I think that's enough help for today. Thank you, and we will be following up on this address.
Very well. Please be safe as you leave. Going through the 2 doors. Two doors!
As soon as the first door closes and we're like waiting, I smack Aldrich again.
With boss or
I
just for
defended
shock?
you?
Just shock this time.
Bring some brawl.
Generous.
Aldrich.
Oh,
Never mind.
I can't re-roll that.
Eveline
They
stumbles
could take
on her
the hit.
attempt to slap.
Just
Probably not accounting for the amount of water in the strange airlock. And completely misses Aldrich, slapping thin air.
the point was still received.
Oh, Evelyn, I didn't realize you were so into water games. And as the airlock is filling up, I just slap the surface of the water in her direction.
You have got a reroll for the smack if you so wish, Eveline.
RJ, why?
A waste of a roll.
Oh, not for
There.
him.
Would you like to take the smack, or
Yeah, it's less
superficial
dangerous than
damage.
the alternative.
yeah?
When it comes to Evelyn, you probably want her to hit you versus scream at you. For
Yes,
sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
much
that's
worse
true.
than-
She would have been a lot more angry had she missed
Yeah.
and would take it out on you later, so this is actually good.
Mm-hmm. Another day with Evelyn.
The coterie walk once more along the Thames riverbed, heading as close as they can to a straight line, following the hooved footprints once more back to the shoreline, and into Aldrich's waiting carriage. They are able to change, for the most part, into dry clothes.
Just bring
Is there
dryer
anything-
clothes along with us.
I think most of you stripped, apart from Eveline.
At this point, Inspector Gray would drop Unseen Passage moments before he, stark naked, hopped into the carriage to get dressed.
That's why you did it.
Is there anything you wish to discuss on your carriage ride to, I assume, Portsmouth Square?
So did I have another dress in the carriage?
You've always got another dress in the carriage, Eveline.
Okay. If not, we were going to stop, and Aldrich was going to buy me a new dress right then.
Although tempting, I'm going to say you have this very short-skirted red cocktail dress that's barely a piece of material.
Totally Victorian.
Don't know who snuck that in your luggage.
Although I would put the dress on, but probably wouldn't have another petticoat with me, so... Petticoat. That's as scandalous as you get for Victorian England.
Apart from Queen Victoria and Prince Albert's sex dungeon. They literally
Do they-
did have.
I know.
Wow. Is it on a museum now?
It's in this. I believe it's actually in the Sex Museum in Amsterdam.
Interesting.
Sex Museum sponsor us.
Wait, are you saying
that.
that
Yeah,
Victoria
actually, that
has
would be
secret?
cool.
Yeah, I'll take that. Sorry, Thurstonwood.
Oh no, I was just saying. Wait, you're telling me that Victoria had a secret?
Is there anything you wish to discuss as you all stare at Eveline's ankles scandalously in the carriage? Very well.
Eveline's brooding.
Sexy brooding. The coterie arrive outside the address provided them by Andre. They approach, and the street is quiet. Being one of the more respectable areas of the city, it is quiet as decent people stay wrapped up in their beds. What would you like to do?
Is this where the address is? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Take the piece of paper back out of your chest.
And what's the building?
It just looks like a... what's it called? Row of houses from the front.
Okay, so like residential.
Yeah.
There a back door somewhere.
All this one big row. So if you went round the back, it'd just be this other row that, you wouldn't even be able to know which house it was because these are long rows.
Right, looks like we are going in. Just check to see if the door's locked first.
Door is locked.
Does anyone want to have a go at this?
Yes, I can take a look at that lock. It shouldn't be an issue. I will go up and check the lock and try to lockpick it.
Dexterity and larceny, please.
Alrighty. Oh, would I get a penalty for having one hand?
Oh, yes.
Can't forget that. -1?
Yes, please. It's fine.
Damn.
The door is unlocked and opened. It reveals that the building is just a front, fascia, and it appears to be hiding something large underground.
After the door opens, I'll step aside and outstretch my arm to lead the way.
Thank you, Inspector. I'll head in, I guess.
Follow.
Will reluctantly take Aldrich's arm. I'm walking.
It's
I
a
will follow
large,
behind, close the
it is a large open area that isn't even roofed. You'll all know from being residents of London that there are various buildings set up in London just this way to hide things that are underground.
I guess we're going down then. Or is it obvious where to go down, or we have to find an entrance?
Yeah, I think you would be able to find an entrance way down or something. Wouldn't be an issue.
Going down.
Don't
Beat me to
encourage
it.
him.
Thurston, since we're going underground, you're probably the most knowledgeable of the path we should take.
You fine. I don't think that's how underground passageways work, but if you insist.
Thurston leads the way forward, and eventually into a hidden room. It seems reinforced heavily with large beams of metal running across the frame of the room, providing an extremely secure area. The concrete walls are bare, with an intricately carved stone sarcophagus containing engravings of bulls and the sun. Against one wall is a table, various objects upon it.
I would like to inspect the table.
Do it for me! Would you prefer wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
Intelligence and investigation.
Roll away, please. You will find a bridal veil.
Show it to
That was
everyone.
that was the table, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting. I would like to inspect the sarcophagus.
Wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
I will do wits and awareness. I will do a willpower reroll for 3 dice.
Okay.
Well, RJ could give you one. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Maybe if I need to slap someone, get a reroll.
You made a command for that. That's great.
A few weeks ago, yeah.
Inspector Gray looks over the sarcophagus, instantly
that's a
recognizing
Masquerade.
various Mithraic engravings, and finds a gold ring with a flat stone in it. Impressed into the stone is the letter B. And as he does so, the beast inside of him rears up and screams. Inspector Gray cannot use teamwork, and performs any action that avoids establishing dominance or challenging authority at a 2 dice penalty to all of his pools. This compulsion ends when Inspector Gray has 1 and gloated over it.
I will take the ring. Clearly, this is a Mithraian sarcophagus. This ring must have something of importance.
I mean, I don't have any doubts of that, Inspector. Did you find anything else, though? Would you like me to come and help? I just didn't want to open any sarcophagi in case we had any friends waiting inside.
Thurston, with all due respect, these are my clues. You can look for your own clues.
Very well, if you insist.
I'm gonna wait. Alright, anything else of interest? We were told that we had come upon some interesting information here. Seems Mithras, this place is of some import to him, I suppose?
Yeah, just to clarify, it was a sarcophagus and a table. That was the main 2 things in the room.
Evelyn, you enjoy opening, resting in sarcophagi. Do you want to open this one?
I'll shrug and open it.
Intelligence and investigation, please. See which historical figure you're going to throw out of their sarcophagus this week.
Benjamin Franklin.
Doesn't necessarily have a lot of respect for the dead.
We can tell the way you talk to everyone else in the coterie.
She's better than everyone else in the coterie.
Second best looking in a corset, apart from Thurston.
It's true.
Eveline slides the sarcophagus lid over and finds a note on the inside.
I read the note.
The note reads, I have consulted with seers, and they all say the same thing. In slightly less than 50 years, Mithras will be vulnerable. We must lure him here, and he will succumb to the fire that flies from the sky. Then you shall take your rightful place at my side as Seneschal of London once more. I have eliminated many of those we have used to make this place. It only awaits your final inspection. I made sure those we used would not talk, as per your instructions.
I would have read this out loud. Note for Valerius?
That seems logical. Who else would benefit greatly from Mithras being removed from this picture?
And back to Seneschal.
I suppose it doesn't say who wrote it.
I don't
We should still
recognize
keep
the
it.
handwriting.
I wonder if others do recognize the handwriting. It's quite a narrow list of people it could be.
I would pull off the note and hand it to him. Since he has a built-in note pocket.
Looking
Long
at
live
the
the new
ring,
flesh!
do we know anyone who has a family name starting with B? I found this ring engraved with a B. Wait, did you say B or V?
No, it was B. I was just sat here thinking, thank God it wasn't a wasp.
I would assume that is the Lady Anne self. Wait, am I making up a name?
No,
Yeah,
Bosley.
Is it Boleyn?
Bosley.
No, that's
Bosley.
Bosley. Ambulance other. Yeah. Right.
One has a head, one doesn't.
So I suppose they were attempting to trap Mithras inside of Lady Anne's sarcophagus?
I'm not sure. Attempting. Seems like they will attempt to do so in about 50 years.
Oh, I see.
Well, because if it had already happened, Lady Anne would not still be here. If it had actually tried and failed.
That's a pity. My hand will grow back well within 30 years. 50 years.
Oh, well, we have a bit of quite damning information then, right? Mithras would be most interested in seeing, but more importantly, Miss Boleyn would be most interested. Bowsley, no, I'm stuck on that. Be most interested in making sure we do not share it.
Yes, this is quite incriminating.
Question is, what would we like to do with this, right? On one hand, we give it to Mithras. Mithras either believes us and
Yep.
kills her,
I don't
which
like
would
that
make
one.
us look better. Right, but the other hand, say there is some evidence to this, right? Some truth to it. We could get in with Miss Boleyn instead. Why do I keep saying that? Get with Lady Anne instead, and she's offering Valerius Seneschal. Who knows what could be in store for us to keep her secret?
Yes, but that would be quite a secret to keep for 50 years. And even after that 50, what happens if their plan doesn't work?
What would stop her from going to Valerius to let him know that we know?
I mean, they can know that we know, but right, we plant this information with other people, so that way they know that if they destroy us, the information is sure to get out. The only way to secure the secret is making sure we stay alive. I'll be the first time I've extorted and blackmailed.
Only the first?
But it is up to you lot. Either way is quite dangerous. Well, I guess it's not a dangerous game if we just tell Mithras.
Yes, I personally feel most comfortable with that option.
Well,
My only worry is I don't think he'll believe us, right? It's their word. We have this note and this ring, but unless we brought Mithras here to see everything for himself, right? And he's not going to listen to us.
I mean, I don't know what Mithras thinks of me, as I was not with you the last when you first met him, but I could at least send it up the chain of Nosferatu and let him know, make sure that it is known that we are the ones providing the information. I know that involves a lot more people than you are wishing, but it would be coming from a more reputable source than just ourselves.
True. It just depends what our end goal is, right? If our goal in the end is to simply stay in our current position, sure, we can tell the boss can take care of it, and we'll more or less stay in our lot in life, right? If there was ever a chance to really get somewhere, they might have found it.
True. And considering how much... Oh, sorry, Inspector Gray, go ahead.
well, on one hand, I'll hold up my stub. If Mithras catches wind of this and we crossed him yet again, we may lose more than one hand. On the other hand, if we can get away with it and overthrow him, it would position ourselves much higher with the people who take control. I guess it comes down to whether or not we have a hand to lose.
That's where I was about to go. Considering the work that we've done with Valerius in the past, I figured that his shadow dealings throughout the city would be something of news to the Camarilla. But when I tried to use that against him, it sadly was not. So if they knew of those types of dealings, what say they don't already know about this? At least some members. I'm pretty sure Dirk knew.
I don't think they do. Oh, I think this is something recently uncovered. I believe only our Zamichi friend is aware of for now. Someone would have acted on this information if it were public knowledge. If someone knew about this, this would not be left here for others to find. For sure.
Well, to be fair though, we broke into the... What was that place called? The Royal Vault?
Tower of London?
Yeah.
The Tower of London, thank you. We broke into the Tower of London and stole something very powerful for Valerius, and the Camarilla already knew that was going to happen. At least some members did.
Again, I'm not worried about them as much. where we want to be concerning Mithras.
Right. I'm not saying this goes all the way up to Mithras. I'm just saying that there might be people within the Camarilla that are willing to use this information against us, even if we are not planning to use it in that way.
Fair. Again, it's once again, I think, comes down to what your ambitions are. I think you might already have an inkling of what I'm leaning towards. And not only am I more comfortable using this time to grow our own endeavors, we would have strong allies in Bowsley and Valerius because we have secret over them. And when they come into power, they either offer us something quite attractive, and even if they don't, you forget how our evening started. We are about to embark on a pact quite official with Endymion. I have confidence the next 50 years are strengthening Endymion. We will be in a position to take whatever we want if Mithras was out of the way, right? I think he's the only thing that might be able to stand up to Endymion in his current form. I'm not worried about Bowsley or Valerius. But if they have a way of getting rid of Valerius, then we are now following and associated with probably the most powerful entity here. It's quite a good position to be in.
You did. What was it you said again? You gave it the soul of. Gave him the soul of the city.
Oh, I did.
Still coming to terms what exactly that means, but it does sound quite impressive.
To me, Mithras is the only thing that I truly fear. And the thought of others removing him for us, it's almost too good for me to pass up.
While I certainly agree with you in your stance, I think that could benefit us greatly. The one, say, devil's advocate point I would like to address: a strong Mithras is a weaker Camarilla. A strong Camarilla is a weaker Mithras. Because while Mithras and the Camarilla's agendas often align, Mithras has certainly made a stance that he is not Camarilla and he allows them to operate within his city. And given the Camarilla's stance on your clan in particular, would it be wise to strengthen the Camarilla?
I see your point, and I do agree with it. But again, I not necessarily trying to strengthen the Camarilla, right? Bowsley Valerius will be in charge, and I think we can do something about that if we wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like Valerius would probably lead a very similar Camarilla to what Mithras has, just for different reasons. I don't really think he cares much for the way the Ivory Tower runs things, and would probably try and run things the way he saw fit.
Right. I mean, if we don't outright just destroy them, at the very least, I'm more confident in my ability to manipulate the Camarilla. I understand their games much more than I am confident in my ability to manipulate Mithras.
And to add to that, ousting Mithras, strengthening the Camarilla, and allying yourself with those leaders of the newly strengthened Camarilla would put you and us decently high up in that new Camarilla. What better place to seek sanctuary from a faction that may want you and your ilk dead than in their leadership?
Exactly. And the way Andre says it, apparently I have an open invitation to his little club as well, right?
it it would be interesting if you had Valerius's ear, if you could somehow create a bridge and make London more amicable to Andre and the
Exactly.
others.
Has, real quick, out of character question, has Andre come out and said that he's with the Sabbat, or is that just inclined? Okay,
He just did when we talked to him earlier.
okay, that's what I thought. I just double checked. Well, I mean, the Sabbat that we've encountered so far do seem to be very advocative of people joining their side. That man that you turned into a bloody pulp after he tried to erase my memory was very, very adamant in trying to convince that the Camarilla was not the way to go.
Right. And I'll be honest, at the end of the day, I don't really feel pulled or a sense of loyalty to any of these sides. I am quite happy to pit them against each other, and the only side I care about is the group I'm standing with right now.
It sounds a bit about right.
My vision is to become to where we can essentially forge our own path. Become strong enough where others simply have to let us do what we want.
It would be a nice position to be in, certainly.
If not in London, maybe somewhere nearby. Either way. But this is obviously an incredibly dangerous proposition.
Most definitely. We're
I
talking about
am willing to risk my life for such a goal, but I'm not going to ask everyone to make the same.
Well, if this new London would be amicable to myself and my clan, I would be quite happy to toss in my hand with yours.
And
What about you, Thurston?
Inspector, well, I'm more worried about the inspector. He only has one hand left, and he's already willing to give it away.
Shows how much he believes in this.
That's true. Well, just like the inspector is willing to give his one good hand away, I guess that I'm willing to give my two good hands away, if need be.
And Miss Eveline, does the prospect of risking your talents for a potential future of ruling sit well with you?
I'll do whatever gives me the biggest chance of fortune and fame.
Very well. I think we're all an ambitious lot, and that's why there's no lot I'd rather be with. So, we let Lady Anne perhaps know that we know. I will put things into motion to put this information in other ears, create a safeguard of sorts, so that if we were to perish, the secret would get out. Alright then. Let's take these other things too. Just because I'd like to have them.
I hand him the veil. This would look quite dashing on you.
Well, thank you.
I'm keeping the clues I found.
I found nothing, so...
I'm able to drag the sarcophagus out.
I don't see why not, apart from the noise, but yeah.
And
Not
Shiv,
going
when I inspected the sarcophagus, really the only thing of note I found was the way I didn't miss it.
Correct.
But I did inspect the sarcophagus.
You did.
Aldrich, if you're planning to drag out that sarcophagus, I did inspect that sarcophagus.
I
just-
just get your point.
Are you laying claim to this as well?
Well, I suppose I will take two of. Well, you can.
I want it, but I don't really want it.
I was gonna say, carry it out your damn self then.
I know, right? It's like. Yes, however, when I'm done with it, I don't necessarily need it long term. But from now, I think it should be mine.
Very well. Is it towards the end of the night?
Yeah. You might be. I mean, you might be able to go and find an innocent, or make a promise to someone, or fuck up a woman that Evelyn was supposed to protect. One of those.
Do we have a time limit on this?
No, not really.
You should
Okay.
be eager to make your sacrifice to your new lord. Right. Inspector, I believe our compulsions are at an impasse at this moment. And I would like you to go home and just wait there. Think about this again. Tomorrow we could discuss who gets what. I'd like to mesmerize him. Because I have the covetous compulsion still going, because this is the first time I've had an opportunity to take something, so
I knew what was going on.
I imagine them on either side of the sarcophagus. It's mine! No, it's mine! No, it's mine!
And then eventually the stone breaks in half and nobody gets the sarcophagus.
No,
Alright,
actually,
what are we
'cause
doing?
I think
I'm going to
Aldrich
do a
would
dry
win.
roll on this.
Okay.
I think Aldrich would win in the tug of war because he's got two hands to pull with.
That's true. It's not like I can
Really
stop
wants
it.
it.
True.
And is it resolve and intelligence to defend against mesmerize?
Yes.
I
Resolve
only
and
know that because
intelligence.
it comes up so often. You roll resolve and intelligence, please.
Okay.
You can blood surge.
What? Let's see. What did he roll?
5.
Do it. I did mine dry.
You did yours. Okay. Okay. I guess. Resolve and what? Sorry.
Resolve and
Intelligence.
intelligence.
That's what I thought you said. Okay.
Oh, thank God. Gonna say either the compulsions get to end, or this is about to be interesting scene.
Aldrich stares directly into Inspector Gray's eyes. The urge to own the sarcophagus fleets from his mind, from Inspector Gray's mind. However, he feels Aldrich's own mind tracing into his. Inspector Gray is compelled to punish anyone seen to transgress against his personal creed, taking their blood as vengeance for the crime. For the remainder of the scene, Inspector Gray must slake at least one hunger from anyone, friend or foe, that acts against a conviction of his. Failing to do so results in a 3 dice penalty to all rolls until the compulsion is satisfied or the scene ends.
Does he have to carry out the dominate first?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. So I have to
Have to be first?
go home.
Yeah, I mean the dominate
first.
worked, so it would be a submerged directive on top of it.
I mean, it
essentially.
would
You're
be
going.
You go home.
you're going to
and
go
wait
home,
there, and we'll
but
talk
at the
about it
same
tomorrow.
time, you
Oh, okay, I
also
get
have
it.
the
You're
compulsion.
gonna go home angry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, hangry.
Yes.
So I mean, I would basically say that You can go home, start to go home, but on the way, you fancy a snack.
Okay. I can work with that. So I guess maybe on my way home I could roll to see if I find someone who is... I catch someone stealing or something like that. They're
Do
guilty. They need to be punished.
wits and streetwise for me, please.
Sure. Or really any crime that I could catch them doing.
Although, I could argue with that and say that stealing Mithras's sarcophagus is a crime. Taking that ring is a crime.
It most certainly is. But my conviction is to punish the guilty. I don't think it matters if I'm guilty or not.
You're not taking the ring, though. Or the sarcophagus.
No, I took the...
Oh, you're taking.
I've got
taking the. But you're not taking
I
the
was
sarcophagus.
trying to take both.
Yeah, I really expected this to just immediately turn on Aldrich.
But that means the dominate didn't work then, and it did.
I mean,
Well, the,
he could still feed on you and then just fuck off home afterwards.
That wasn't my command, though.
It's true.
yeah, it was
That's
true.
true.
That's like if I commanded someone to like kneel, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to shoot you first, but then I'm going to."
That's true. That's true.
I guess the question is, which is stronger, dominate or a compulsion?
You don't have to do a compulsion. You're just at a penalty because it's fucking
Yeah.
with your head.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
technically, he could just go home and not do anything. He's just going to be all messed up, which will reflect
And-
a dice penalty because his beast is raging against him.
And really, I did not want that sarcophagus.
Yeah.
I want you
I
to
don't
win
even-
this, and then you're stuck with this giant thing.
Yeah, and like, I don't even have the hands to carry it. Like, Aldrich would have had to take it out for me anyways.
It's mine. Aldrich, you mine.
Exactly.
Inspector
That would be
Gray,
an amazing scene too, though.
you are able to find a teenager who has stolen an apple from a fruit stall.
Okay. When that teenager walks down, I would like to, approach him.
Okay? Like, you sneaking up on people in alleyways?
Well, you see, I was looking for someone who was innocent, but I seem to have found a thief instead. You are guilty, I saw with my own eyes. However, I believe we can come to an amicable punishment. You've stolen food, so a meal for a meal. And then I will pounce on him and try to feed.
Feeding roll for me, please. Actually, strength and brawl for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this going to be at a penalty?
No, because it's for your compulsion.
What about my hand?
There's no dexterity involved with strength and brawl.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to let you have that.
Okay.
And as you begin to feast upon the teenager's inside, taking his blood, you finally finish satiated. You may slake to hunger.
Okay.
And at the end of the alleyway, coming towards you, you'll notice two small children coming forwards, a look of concern on their face. What happened?
Oh, well, you see, this hooligan, he had stolen an apple, and when I confronted him about it, he took to flight and passed out.
Hooligan, he's our brother. He went out to get us food.
Oh, really? The three of you are starving and hungry.
Yeah.
Well, I am a generous individual. I didn't realize he was caring about his younger brothers. I could take the three of you um, back to my friends and I's home and get you all fed.
Oh, yeah, sure. The guy who just killed our brother will follow
He's
you
not dead,
home.
I don't think.
No, but they don't know that.
He's not dead. Surely, go ahead.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, you've said that you're hungry. He stole an apple to feed you. I didn't realize his intentions were noble. And
No, you didn't ask no questions. You just went in. You physically attacked our brother, and all he wanted to do was provide us food. And now you're saying we should go with you? What kind of weirdo are you? Go around punching kids?
it's so horrible. Look, I thought he was a criminal. Now that you've revealed this light, I would surely like to see that the three of you are taken care of here. As a gesture of good faith, I'll even give you each. What's a adequate? Like a pound each, or
Guinea?
a guinea? I'll give you each a guinea. And I'll see that you can each have a hot meal before going on your way.
It sounds like bribery for beating up our brother, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Boy, I will help their brother up, and then I suppose I'll lead the three of them to our house.
Oh, no, they're not going to your house. They're going to take the money and run.
They're just gonna leave their brother?
Yeah. They're scared to death of you.
Alright. Okay, then I'm taking the brother with me then. If he was trying to feed his younger brothers, that seems
I'm
noble
with
to
you.
me.
I'm with you. I had to work out what you were doing, but I got it. And you're going back to the Whitechapel house, aren't you?
Yes, I was gonna try to get a 3-for-1 sacrifice. I'll stick with it.
No, I get it. And you return to the Whitechapel house, descend down into the basement, and stand, cradling the child in front of the portrait of Anne Bosley. What would you like to do?
Endymion, I found this innocent. He was trying to pilfer an apple to feed his younger brothers. Seems like a noble thing to do, caring about others. Do you accept him as an innocent sacrifice?
Your sacrifice was accepted.
Do I need to take, like, a ritual blade or something, or...
No.
That was out of character. Ah, very well. Enjoy your sacrifice, Endymion.
How are you going to kill this child?
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering about, if I had to actually do something to sacrifice him. In that case, is there a table, or... I guess there's just what, the portrait of Lady Anne Bosley?
That's it, yeah.
And I have to use that to sacrifice him?
You don't have to use that to sacrifice him, no.
Oh, okay. I'm confused if there's
There are many ways to
ritual I have
kill
to do.
an unconscious teenager. You don't need to slap him around with a painting to kill him.
I suppose I'll just be quick about it and dagger to the heart.
I'll let you do that for a free action. And Inspector Gray places the broken body of the teenager in front of the portrait as various pieces of red lighting start to leak out of the painting, enveloping the small teenager, lifting him into the air, and entirely covering him. All but a few seconds later, the red lights fade once more into the portrait, leaving the stripped body of flesh and bone to just fall to the ground. You begin to hear the whisper of Endymion in your skull. You're unable to decipher what is being said. You head out of the cellar into the meeting room where Aldrich has left the page that was delivered the previous week, and you are able to read upon it Law of Dominion.
Is this a page I can read?
I'll give it to you after the session.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anyone else got anything they wish to do? No? Very well. Then we shall bring an end to this week's London by Gaslight. Thank you all for coming, playing, killing teenagers. Thank you
did
for
I get
coming.
any humanity stains for that?
Oh yes. Yes, you do. You get 2.
He wasn't.
Going against conviction.
You get 2 humanity stains.
So, Thurston, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
No, I don't really do a lot of things outside of here, but you can find me everywhere at Nitro Type Hat. Also, we're close to 400 followers on Twitch. As soon as we get there, we're going to start sending out invites to our play-by-post stuff on our Discord. So be sure to follow if you're not, and let your friends know if they're into play-by-posts, and then send them our way. Links to our Discord down below.
Eveline, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. I am also writing a book this month. The goal is 50,000 words, and I am at 34,412. I am also a belly dancer, and I will be dancing at Carousel Caravan in Austin, Texas on Saturday. And we're going to have Thanksgiving next week, so we won't be on. So I will also be dancing at Mystic Market in Buda, Texas, next Saturday. And if you need any graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
Aldrich, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Yes, I am Bully. I run things over at Table Goth. You can find most of our things on YouTube, including recently, I think this weekend, if I can get my editing program to stop crashing, our first session of our Cult Chronicles will be uploaded. They'll be on YouTube only, but super fun, short, deep dives into the different cults and cults of the blood gods. And I kept promoting it to keep myself accountable, and I finally did the thing. I put out a player's guide for Vampire, a bunch of disciplines, over 100 merits and flaws, which were one of my favorite things about the old editions that they just kind of didn't include very much of for this edition. And predator types. So go to the Storyteller's Vault, find that, buy that.
Inspector Gray, teenage slaughterer. Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I'm Masquerade. You can at me at the Discord. I play this game when we play on a weekly basis, and that's about it.
Wonderful. Coming up, is it Monday in your Western time zone?
Yes.
We will be doing part 2 of Wraith the Oblivion for realsies, alongside Bully, Astrid, Dead Western. Who else? Was that it? Was that 4 people?
Ash?
Ash can't make it, unfortunately.
Oh, so it was 3 then.
I'm sure there's a 4th. The name will come back to me at some point as I very subtly open up the channel.
Is CS going to be?
CS! Thank you.
Ooh, Canadian soul.
No Gaslight next week because Thanksgiving is, I think, that actual day. And despite their amazing efforts at doing British accents, I'm the only one that's British here. So they're all doing something for this Thanksgiving. And I think we've got Oxford by Night that week instead. And then December starts and we'll have to see what is happening week by week on that. But there's going to be stuff. Something. But we'll go raiding on Fangs of New York, who are playing Vampire the Masquerade. But, of course, we cannot go until Noscavian says the line.
Have a good night.
Teenager killer.
It felt so good